Hey guys, Tommy Bryson here, and welcome to Ask Tommy Bryson, where I take your questions and talk to you guys one-on-one. If you want to join me, just go ahead and sign up directly in the link down below, and that way we can talk one-on-one. And by the way, everything is free. Let's get started.
Hello?
Hi, hello, is this Nani?
Yes, wow, good afternoon.
Hey man, this is Tommy Bryson. How can I help you?
Yeah, good to hear you. It's crazy. This is actually, I was just emailing you right now because my kept going to voicemail. I've been watching your videos all morning. What's up there every day? But, man, okay, I guess I might as well get started because I've got 30 minutes. But
Okay.
I guess I can tell you about myself real fast. 23-year-old college student, international business college student, just
Can you come a
returned to
little closer
school.
to like the phone? I can't really hear you.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. And by the way,
Okay,
just want to
perfect.
confirm so you know, this video
Yeah.
is gonna be recorded and uploaded to YouTube. Okay.
Oh, yeah, no worries at all.
All right. Cool. All right. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. Okay, so I guess kind of good to be candid here. I had some notes, but just to let you know about myself. I'm a 23-year-old African American college student, international business student here in Washington,
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, Washington, and just returning to school. Got about a year left. Um, Unfortunately, paying for the rest of my school with college loans through
Mm-hmm.
federal loans. But I guess some questions I have for you. Definitely picked up some investing advice from you, and as some friends earlier with less knowledge, but listening to you has kind of helped me grapple more knowledge on the ways I wanted to invest, which is
Mm-hmm.
definitely through ETFs and value investing, all with dollar cost averaging, looking to invest for the long run.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you've dabbled on this thinking, but I was just wondering. I was just like, why save throughout college and stuff when I could hopefully invest aggressively enough to the point where like my investments could outrun
Outperform.
my college debt or
Mm-hmm.
like so have a good enough impact on my college debt where it's just like it'll help me get rid of that stuff as I'm finishing off or my early days after graduation.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And
So
also, I guess, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. So let me just go ahead and answer the question first. By the way, you're
Yeah,
23 years old. Your name is Nani, and what are you working on right now in college?
international business degree.
International business degree. Okay. You have any job prospects? You're about to graduate, right?
I guess I got not next year, but next year and then a quarter after that. I'm interning at not really interning, but I just got offered a part-time job at a digital marketing company doing like SEO work. But and I've had some experience out of school, just project management with like private constructors. So like that's just stuff for the resume. But more so, I'm just looking to. The only reason I chose that degree is because like I believe in globalization and just you kind of like to look at the world in a broader spec, seeing things open up
Mm-hmm.
more. And as of now, like realize that there's multiple countries that you could find good benefits for yourself as opposed to the U.S. And it's also good to like
Mm-hmm.
and whatever I do have know that it's not just you're not just closed off to your
Okay.
environment that you grow up in, but also
So,
worldwide. So obviously I want
okay.
to leave too, but we'll see.
Okay, Nani. So it sounds like you don't
Yeah,
have any job prospects within your field. Does that
no,
sound accurate?
no, not
Not
clear,
currently,
laid
right?
out. Yeah,
Okay. So that sounds like something you have to research. And right now,
yeah.
when it comes to like your loans, how many loans do you have right now? Like how much money?
12,000,
Okay, $12,000 in student loan debt. And by the time you graduate, how much would it be?
probably about 25.
25,000. And do you work right now?
Yeah,
What do you do?
I am work at a coffee shop as a
Coffee shop.
barista. Yeah,
And do you make enough to like pay for school or just enough to basically get by?
I um I don't pay for school out of pocket, but I pay for all my expenses like outside of school,
Okay.
like by myself. Like I pay for my apartment, my car, my all my expenses.
So you also you have car debt
Plus,
too?
I invest. No, not at all.
Okay.
School is my only thing I'm borrowing for.
Okay. How much money do you invest per month? Do you know?
Um, Gosh, I don't track it specifically, but I would say about a little over 100 a month.
100 a month. Okay.
Yeah.
I asked you because you're saying you're doing dollar cost average, so you should know exactly how much money you're investing. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. I've just set up recurring investments, but
Okay.
I've not calculated them.
Okay. How much money do you make per month?
I make, as of now, I just switched jobs, so I'm still calculating that, but I'd say about a little over 2,000.
So let's just say $2,000 a month, and you
Uh-huh.
have left 1 year of school, right?
Yeah.
So 12 months. Okay. That's
Or to be
20.
specific, 5 quarters, 4 quarters.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, not including this one, 5 quarters, I guess, with the one coming up too.
Okay. All right. So here's what it sounds like, right? It sounds like my name is Nani. I have a job, right? And this job makes
Uh-huh.
me just enough money to basically live my expenses and have, for example, if you extra $100 to actually go ahead and invest. Now the question
Yeah.
is, do I go ahead and I do invest that money, maybe 8 to 10% if I'm doing an ETF investing, or do I grab
Yeah.
that money and pay off my debt? And why would I pay off
Yeah.
the debt if it's like a 4 or 5% and I'm basically making 8% with the market? Well, the
Uh-huh.
answer is because basically market returns are not guaranteed, right? So
Yeah.
you can be making a lot of money this year because everyone is, because they dumped a bunch of money in the entire like market, but
Yeah.
next year it could be different. And on top of that, when you have student loan debt, the whole idea is that money keeps growing and growing and growing and compounding. But my
Yeah.
investments are also growing and growing and compounding, right, Tommy? Yeah, but if you really do the math here, right, you're paying like 5%. But when you look at your investments, making maybe like 8% on average, 9% on average, once you minus, for example, like taxes and fees and also like inflation, you're basically averaging out the exact same thing. And on top of that, the money you're putting towards the minimums for those entire loans could just be more money and more money to then go ahead and invest. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
So if
100.
I went to college too, right? I graduated a
Yeah.
little earlier than you did. And if I
Uh-huh.
could do it all over again, 100%, I would have graduated, for example, 100% debt free and just call it a day, right? Because once I graduate debt free, all this free money that I have now, all my money is just mine. I can go ahead and just keep investing and investing all of it. It'll give you the possibility to go ahead and invest much more money. You're also basically not running the risk of basically, hey, I can't make a payment here and there, because if you can't, it's gonna ruin your credit score also.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And
100%.
as far as if I were there with you, right? Because when I was in college, I don't really know your situation that well, Nani. But when I was in college,
Uh-huh.
I had around 2 to 3 jobs, right? So if I'm you in college and this job can only pay, for example, for like one, my expenses and maybe like $100 like extra, I would probably get like another job, right? If I have a car,
Okay.
that's DoorDash, that's Uber Eats, that's delivering pizzas, that's whatever it is. That way, all the extra money I get now, I can grab that money, put it towards my loan, and pay it off and graduate 100% debt free. Now, once I graduate in 4.5 quarters or 12 months, whatever it is, now I can have, by the way, you need to get a job within your field. That's why that tricky international business thing is so tricky, because it's really hard to like get a job and actually
Justify.
like, yeah, you know what I mean? You need
Yeah.
mm-hmm. You get a bachelor's or an associate's?
Bachelor's.
Yeah, so you might even go ahead and maybe you might be able to maybe go ahead and get a master's maybe in finance or something like that. But it's all up to you, right? It doesn't matter how much money you make, it matters how much money you keep. So
Yeah.
I would graduate debt free, because my investments after my taxes and basic fees are basically going to average out basically the same thing. And the margin of what I'm actually going to make extra is not really going to be worth it. So once I'm debt free, I have no credit card debt, I have no car debt. It means that I'm fresh, right? The average person
Yeah.
is not going to be in that place now. The average person is going to have, for example, student loan debt, car loan, credit card debt, personal loans, a crazy mortgage. They're going to have every single level of that. But in your case, my name is Donnie. I just graduated. I'm making money here. All right, all this money is mine. I keep my low expenses. Now I have a whole bunch of extra money. With this money, I can save it for my emergency account. I can save it for more investing. I can save it for a down payment on a home, and I don't have to worry about paying anybody any money.
Okay.
Does that make
Yeah, I like the sound of that, which is like the realist thing that I just got to swallow, in terms of like, definitely was trying to hear this, oh, just invest and it'll beat your student loans, but that's kind of sounds like the easy way out. Like, things don't work out that easy.
Yeah,
Unless you
yeah.
never know, but
It'll beat it out over the next 10 to 20, 30 years, but your student loans are still going to be there and they're still
initially.
going to be growing, you know? So then
Oh, I
what are you
see
going
what
to,
you're saying.
yeah, you know what I mean? You're paying the
Uh-huh.
minimum, and usually the minimum is not be enough to actually pay off the entire loan because the interest is kind of like a little high or whatever. It's a game that I'm not interested in playing. Till this
Hmm.
day, I have 20K in student loan debt. I haven't paid it off in full because basically I'm waiting until September until they say, hey, are we going to forgive this or not forgive it? But I do have, for example, a little over 20K in cash. So if they say no, all right, that's paid off. I'm done with it, right? That's what I'm
Okay.
currently doing. So if I were in Europe, that's why I say if I would have known what I know today, I would have just graduated debt free and just called that whole thing a day.
Okay. Wow,
Okay.
that's good to know, especially coming from you.
And I'm
I
seeing
get.
here that you wanted to talk
Hmm.
about nomad capitalists. What is that?
Definitely looked into that, but briefly, because I can't say too much about it. But in terms of just what I know about what that is just knowing that there's places around the world that could b- benefit you and your specific needs and your specific job and money. Like when it comes to taxes and living expenses, that could
Hmm.
uh, that could that you could be well off, not just in the U.S. but in other places around the globe where there's real estate that has less tax, job places where you could work,
Mm-hmm.
not in person but just digitally. You could work virtually and have make the same amount of money you make in the U.S. but it's in a better situation
Mm-hmm.
internationally, where it's just like you don't have to spend as much money. Which like hopefully, definitely, when it comes to my degree, another thing that I was looking for if I don't get a job initially is just like I've talked to some alumni, even though I haven't had some job prospects, but alumni
Mm-hmm.
that have found situations where they found jobs that pay for their post grad education. So that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I've
Are
looked
you
into in
interested
terms of my
in
plan.
continuing your education?
Yes.
And what do you specialize in this time instead of going so broad?
Definitely accounting or management information systems.
Okay. And all right. Okay. I do recommend that. If you can find a job that can basically pay for your degree, that's awesome, right? It's like free money. There's no problem,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's basically exchanging labor for free money, and you're also getting paid
Mm-hmm.
money, all that stuff. And I do understand what you're saying, Tommy, you know what, America is great, but there's also other possibilities outside of America. That's great, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if what you want to do
Still
is like
number one.
yeah, yeah. If you want to do is like a still number one, still number one. Okay, okay. But yeah, if
Sorry,
what
it
you
just kind of came out.
okay, but if you want to do is like accounting or whatever, like start finding employment now, right? Like
Okay.
start seeing exactly like what businesses actually offer that, and if they don't, just find an employment that's actually gonna pay you way beyond like for example minimum wage, of course, like maybe like
Yeah.
40 to 50K. You make that money, or you're making that money, you're going to school during the nighttime or whatever, and you can actually graduate like in 2 years, 2 years and a half. You graduate in accounting, so you can go ahead and specialize more. It's up to you, you know. But don't
Yeah.
get into debt. But when you're there, just pay it off with your job, and that way you're solid to go. As
Not
far as
getting into more debt.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And as far as for example, and make sure you're investing too. And as far as for example, like living outside the U.S., it's a possibility, you know, because me myself, I'm actually gonna be moving to Puerto Rico most likely later June
Oh.
because taxes,
Wow.
right? Taxes are insane
Wow.
over there. They're like so little. So that's a possibility for me, right? So I decided to go outside of the U.S. because again, my job, I can do it under a rock with Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and if you want to get a skill that can allow you to do that, you got to research it, right? So if what
Okay.
your goal is not to work in an office, to be more remote, it's up to you how you want to do it.
Mhm.
My accountant is a CPA. She works out of Florida, but she's not seeing anyone, right? She work from like from Barbados, wherever she wants to, right? So it's up to
Uh-huh.
you on how you actually want to do it. Like, what do you want to study? What's gonna allow me the chance to have clients and work from anywhere in the world? What can I do to do that? That's the whole idea there.
Okay. Which is yeah. Okay. It's like the hard question you gotta ask myself is like, oh, you're getting this degree, but what are you gonna do with it? What are you gonna
Yeah, man.
specialize in?
Don't collect degrees, man. Like Pokemon cards, right? Those things are investments. because this is
Mhm.
some $25,000 is a lot of money, man. So make sure whatever
Yeah, I
degree
need
you're
to keep
gonna
the
get,
money.
yeah, make sure whatever degree you're gonna get is actually gonna make sense for you financially. That's the biggest thing. And if you don't know what you want to do, get a job within that field to kind of
Uh
like
huh.
get a feel for it. If do I want to do accounting? Let me work in a little accounting office, maybe even as a cleaner or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just to see like what it's all about, or like start maybe like at a low position or whatever it is. Just see exactly how everything works. Do I like this? Do I not like it? Go on YouTube and see, for example, some free courses on accounting. Is this interesting?
Okay.
Do I want to do it? If the answer is no, then don't
Yeah.
do it. Whatever you want to
Okay.
do, you're gonna pay for. Make sure it's that. By the way, it's an investment, right? So go on labor. What is it called? Laborcareers.com, something like that. Labor
Okay.
statistics, and see exactly what careers are actually growing and which ones are not growing, right?
Labor statistics. Okay.
Yeah,
Wrote
and
that
that
down.
yeah, and that'll show you exactly which ones are growing and which ones are not growing. And pick something you like, something you're good at, and something that's gonna make you money. That's all it
Okay.
is.
Pretty simple. Okay, I appreciate you saying that. I'm not sure how much more time I have with you. Kind of quick question, was a bit
Mm-hmm.
off kilter from what we've been talking about. I'm not sure if you could say so much about this, just in terms of my taxes. I'm about to go talk to an accountant tomorrow and file my taxes for this year because last year is my first year filing as an independent. And uh, another thing, hopefully, I kind of made a bit more money than I'm making right now because I was
Mm-hmm.
out of school during the pandemic, just grinding, working Amazon delivery and other jobs. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, probably made about closer to 45,000.
Bro, if you're
But I
making so
just
much money, just use that money to like pay off all your debt, man. Do that same thing
okay,
during the pandemic and do it now and just
yeah.
graduate debt free.
But I
Forty-five
was doing
thousand
that
dollars.
outside of school, so it was like I spent my whole day delivering,
Mm-hmm.
and just
It's a
came back to school. And,
sacrifice.
okay,
Yeah, do that
Uh,
now.
and this is just kind of weird because I've been talking to the IRS. There's like a weird, it's like government people, but like I didn't sign my signature on my taxes last year, so they sent them back,
Mm-hmm.
and then I signed my signature and gave my W-2s again for all that money I made. Haven't got my tax return for that yet because I keep calling and they're just like, oh, because of the pandemic, your tax returns are probably in a room full of a whole bunch of papers and we haven't got to that yet. Keep checking
What
back and forth month to month. And I'm
what
over here
service do
like,
you use for your taxes?
last year I used TurboTax, which I wanted to e-file, but I didn't have. Wish I could say what thing I had. I didn't have one thing. Basically, I even paid to talk to a online advisor, and they said that
Mm-hmm.
I had to mail my things in, which I obviously would rather e-file. But then
Mm-hmm.
I mailed it in, and when I mailed it in, I didn't put my one signature, so I got them back, and then that just makes everything weird. So this year, I decided to just go and work with someone in person just to solidify the fact that I'll get my tax return in because even though I haven't
What were your
been
estimates on how much tax you have to pay?
for last year.
Yeah.
Last year, I was expecting to get a tax return of about $1,000.
Or you were expecting to get money back?
Yeah, and then because that hasn't gone through, I haven't been able to get any stimulus checks or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm not banking on as like I needed to survive. But it's like I'm definitely going after that money to have extra money that I can put towards things like
Mm-hmm.
my loans or investment. But now that we're talking, we definitely want to use that
Yeah,
money
just
just to
focus
apply to my
on
student
that.
loans.
Yeah. So my advice is this, man. As far as the IRS, they're slow.
Yeah.
So if
Okay.
they're telling you just like they're gonna take their time, just wait basically. And as far as
Okay.
like today, like which what I would do with, I would go with the cheapest option, man. It's not your fault. Well, it is your fault because you forgot the signature, but it's not your fault now that they're taking so
Yeah.
long, right? So
Yeah.
if I'm gonna go, like usually going to a personal accountant is gonna cost you more money than TurboTax
Okay.
would, right? So
Yeah.
when I was in your situation in college with like odd jobs, TurboTax all the way,
Okay.
e-file. But if you have to do, for example, like signature filing, find out why and fix that this year and just do like TurboTax. If it's gonna save like $200 extra, then just do that, right? Because that's what I would do. But
Okay,
I
because
would
yeah,
only,
I'd assume
yeah.
that going
Go
in
ahead.
seeing something was going to take away more money. So it's probably, even though they haven't told me the cost goes, it's probably going to cost way more
Yeah,
than TurboTax.
yeah.
Okay.
Never do taxes with somebody without knowing how much they're gonna charge you. So you ask them,
Okay.
hey, how much is this going to cost me? And here are the number that they tell you. Compare it. You gotta shop around, right? So you shop around. You go to TurboTax, how much? Okay. Go to the personal person. All right, how much? Okay. You only want to pay a premium usually for taxes whenever you're actually like hiring a CPA to do, for example, like business taxes, because basically those people can do like a lot more than you can just like going to the computer, because they can find deductions and so on. That's why I have an accountant today. But when I didn't have everything going on, TurboTax was more than enough.
So my life isn't complicated enough for me to go and need services.
Exactly. It's not that complicated at all. You just like
Even
you're going to college.
Even with just my W-2 jobs, I guess the only reason I wanted to, besides that not issue some last year, is because also like I know I could get things like money back from my laptop I bought from school, I'm assuming, and then my tax documents for my investments, which, I mean, as long as I have my documents, I guess if I just download those from TurboTax, it still wouldn't get too complicated. That's what I'm trying to ask, I guess.
It's not that complicated, because you probably only have like 3 documents coming in, probably like your 1099s from like the odd jobs, your W-2, and maybe like the college and then the college thing that they send you every year. That's it.
1098. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Okay. Just upgrade those. Okay.
But compare, shop around. If it turns out to be cheaper, then just be like, okay, I'll do you guys. But if it's more expensive by a lot, all right, I'm not doing you guys.
Okay. I guess I'll look into that even more. I guess because my last fear is that I forgot this one piece of information I needed last year. It was just like, if you don't have this information from previous years of tax time, because it was my first year, and previously I was going as a dependent only to my mom. I was like, you needed this one thing. I was like, oh, I don't have this one thing yet. So I was like, oh, without this one thing, you can't e-file. You need to send it by mail, and I'm definitely not sending my taxes by mail again this year because the mailing system has been
just find out an axe. Just find out an axe, okay? That's my advice on that.
Okay, appreciate you keeping it simple.
Yeah. You have any more questions, bro?
Last, I guess, while I have you here, thank you for taking my calls. Like, this is crazy to be even talking to you personally like this, besides the comments, which I sometimes find myself under. Mm-hmm. And appreciate you for, I guess, even when I have questions, it's like it's crazy how much you answer them in our videos. Just got a Discover Secure card, boosting my credit.
Awesome, bro.
Trying to get that past the 670 right now. So.
Yeah. And by the way, remember, right, when you're trying to build credit, just use the one bill method, where you just put one bill on each card, pay it off in full every month automatically, and just cut the physical cards. That way, you don't run the risk of like overspending or going into crazy debt with the credit cards. That's my advice on that. Okay.
Yeah, definitely not trying to get in any more debt of by myself. Even like seeing everyone getting new cars, is just like no more debt besides this school debt. Like, get rid of that first, because I'm definitely trying to have my net worth be above zero.
All right, brother.
Fairly soon. But appreciate you taking this call.
All right, brother. Thank you, and have fun.
You too. Thank you.
All right, peace. All right, guys. So I get this question asked a lot, right? So what do you do when you want to invest, but you can't invest because basically you have a lot of debt? Usually the advice is always going to be pay off your debts first, free up all that risk and also all that interest being charged to you, and then you go ahead and start investing, right? That's usually going to be my advice. So that's what I would do currently. If I were in school, pay off for school. When you graduate, you get a really good job. All that money now is money for you to go out there, basically invest. That's my idea right there. But guys, that's about it. If you want to join me on my next call, well, join my list down below. It's free. I'll call you directly. And I'll see you guys next time. And as always, like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified. And if you guys want to text me all the time, to my Patreon, link down below, or send me a DM on Instagram at Tommy Bryson. And before I go, if you want to watch another call, well, here's that call right here. And click my face right here. See you guys tomorrow. And as always, peace.